this video, I have a saying about giving a rat's ass that's kind of funny. That how can you give a rat's ass? The ass of the rat isn't yours to give, so let the rat keep his ass. Or you can pick up a rat in tandem to somebody else's ass first, and yes, you're giving a rat's ass. And if the other person wants to accept the rat ass first, to give a rat's ass, you're sort of offering up the rat's ass, and it's up to the other person if he wants to accept. So I'll have another saying too, that in some certain things, that if a rat's ass should really be offered or even given about a particular subject. So that's what I say about tolerance to a certain thing. You can say sometimes you give a shit. There's some and I also have a thing where I say there's certain aspects of giving a shit or giving a fuck. It's not that I don't give a shit or give a fuck. It's there's some aspects of giving a shit or giving a fuck that I don't give a shit or a fuck about. And at any given time, when and where should a rat's ass be given, or a fuck be given, or a shit be given, or even offered? You know what I mean? Alright, what's up, yins guys? Time for another video. I just saw this article about Rue Paul. I'm just going to try not get through this without laughing. But yeah, it says, if you're afraid of our light and our laughter and all their bullshit, yeah, they think you're afraid of them. You see, these people, they are not satisfied with just tolerance. They want to be masters over you and supreme rulers over you. And they want to get even with the rest of society for not worshiping them. It's all about revenge politics, and they want to crush the lives of anybody who don't worship them. If they could, they would. You expect me to believe that you're any better than the conservative preachers that you don't like, but yet I'm expected to be in awe and look up to you and kiss your ass. Fuck you. Most of us want to live our own lives, and hey, and we have the attitude, you be you. If that floats your boat, just don't tell us what to do. Anyway, I'm making my case of how jaded and arrogant these people are, just as bad as the conservative preacher who they don't like. And I'm going to use an analogy here, or I'm going to, you know how a lot of conservative preachers think they're of God, and actually it's just a job to them. They don't even believe in the God they say they believe in. I mean, not even bashing all Christians, but the people who use the Bible and use God as a tool, you know what I mean? I'm going to use an analogy of what they'll say, and they don't think it's coming out of the mouth of God, for example. It's coming out of the mouth of them, you can tell. A particular scripture, if you're not hot or cold in your faith or whatever the hell, then I'm going to spit you out of my mouth. They get to label you or whatever. And I'm using that as an analogy to make my case that these people like Rue Paul and this trans community, I don't want you to just leave them alone or whatever and let us be us. They, even though they do not, I'm not implying at all that they use this quote from scripture that I quoted. I'm telling you that even though they do not, they do indeed have a version of it. You know what I'm saying? You and me getting to be you getting to be you, me getting to be me isn't an option. You can't be cordial with these people any more than that person that you encounter that fancies themselves as a preacher. You know, you can start out as an intelligent. I've said that about certain people that are conservative. They fancy themselves as some person that they're evangelizing, and they're not even a certified, um, priest that actually is in a church or whatever the hell. You get so many of them wannabes out there. Then you get the other side of the tracks. All right, what I'm saying is, you can get in a conversation with certain people and you think that you're of some kind of equal intelligence, and they're respecting who you are and you're respecting who they are. And you notice how their face changes. They're all nice as pie until they start seeing that you're not looking up to them in awe and want to be taught by them. If you claim any kind of personal self-esteem, any kind of personal sovereignty, and not humbling yourself before them. Okay, these kind of people hate I'm telling you, I've seen that, the pseudo-preacher out there. Some people act nice and friendly and you talk about certain things and how the world is fucked up. These people are no better than the preacher that I mentioned that they don't like. You know what I mean? They may even act. I never personally, as close as I ever really talked to some of them is, all right, a good many of the they're more like allies. These people, I would be full of shit if I say I encountered anywhere in my area. I seen some walking by, and they're not common in my area. I'd be full of shit right now if I told you I had encountered a lot of the drag people like the Rue Paul wannabes, or because after all, I don't live in San Francisco or even parts of Pittsburgh, which would be I see things on my TV news. I'm not in the city of Pittsburgh, but I see that Pittsburgh TV news. I'd be full of shit if I told you I encountered any, but I have encountered the allies and the sympathizers, all those who, if you don't worship at that altar, even somebody that looks like me. I mean, do I look like a fucking Bible thumper conservative to you? But yes, I have my beliefs. A mixture of Christian, a mixture of beliefs, like personally, a mixture of occult and Christianity, and the way things I think should be, and how everything in this world is kind of voodoo-y, which that community itself, I digress there. That's for another video. What these people are a part of. Everybody has their little voodoo spell that kind of do their mass hypnosis of their sheep, but I digress. But yeah, everybody gets all nice. Like, what happens when I'm not looking at you in awe and wanting to worship at your altar, join your fucking cult? I mean, I'm automatically, do I look like a fucking Bible thumping conservative? But even though maybe I don't look like one, obviously I'd be some person that deserves to be stripped of everything I own or my whole status and thrown in a cage. No different than maybe the extreme version of maybe the ultra right conservatives that don't give that would have me thrown in a cage. They worship police state. Oh, this side, okay, you're gonna, everybody that would have me thrown in a cage, like say if you want to have somebody fined or jailed for misgendering you, right? And is that on a he said she said thing? Do I get to defend myself, or you get to throw me in a cage or get me fined on a he said or she said? But that's not what this whole video is about. But I digress. I'm throwing that in there because it represents an attitude. I mean, do they think they're any better than the people that they think are all out to get them, the conservatives or whatever the hell? Or
Who the fuck do they think they are? What happens in that little world when I don't have this enthusiasm that I'm supposed to have to look up to you and all? I mean, I'm saying that they're a version, they're just a backward version that's to the far other way version of the any spiritual preacher or new agey person that you encounter in the world. They act all nice, and then you realize after a while that the only reason the only purpose of the conversation is you're supposed to look up at them, look up to them in awe, and you're supposed to be down here a little bit, humble yourself before them. And you find out they don't have any real respect for you, for any intelligence that you have. And matter of fact, that it's indicated or virtue signaled you're not supposed to. Maybe they think they're the only way, like you can't make friends any fucking where else. Or maybe they want the world taken over in a way according to them, and maybe people like me won't get a voice. Some claim that they're so marginalized. They're so fucking marginalized they get their own TV show, and they got money. They got money, and they're even getting political, social power, which they think they're marginalized and persecuted. And as soon as they got money and social pull, a big massive cult on their side, they'll sure as fuck persecute maybe me or you if you don't worship at their altar. Living your own life and doing your own thing is not an option. Being cordial and saying, okay, whatever floats your boat, you do what you want. If you have the attitude where I am not going to take any part of my personal life to persecute you, but I'm not taking any of my personal life to coddle you either or worship you. If you have that attitude, that's not an option. You're scum. If they can't label you as that ultra-conservative as their enemy somehow, they'll regard you as some other kind of smart-mouth scumbag that needs to be that needs a talking to, needs to be taught a lesson, needs to be fined, locked in a cage, and levied in every way, shape, or form until we're squeezed into conformity. See? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, really, as long as these fuckers ain't telling me what I'm supposed to do, or telling me how my life is going to be, as long as they're not doing that, they can wear a fucking Air Jordan on one foot and a high heel shoe on the other foot, and wear a sailor hat and a tutu and a fucking whatever the hell else. I can give a fraction of a shit. I can care less. But if you're some person walking around with a cocky look on your face, you're not an ally, you're not kissing their ass, then they have a problem with you. And when you see that becomes a problem, and that's when it becomes a mental disorder, and then when that becomes a case of sociopathy, mixed with like arrogance. That's when then when you want to try to tailor political laws to persecute the ones who won't worship you. It's like you're setting up another Nebuchadnezzar type idol. Then that's when we draw the line. That's when it becomes a case of psychopathy, sociopathy, and a Caligula-like dictatorship. People like Nero and Caligula had versions of this bullshit, and the shit they even did to even kids, and all that. But if you want to go and demand the public schools educate somebody's kids and gonna tell, I don't have any kids, but tell anybody that how they're going to educate their kids, even in their own house, and go say, oh no, you're not going to go and home educate your kids. We're going to try to stop that if we can. That is the height of arrogance and the height of who the fuck do you think you are.